It is currently 12:30 a.m. I was about to go to bed and I saw this. I saw this and I told you guys, I said from the very get-go, I said, don't make a definitive statement. Don't make a definitive call until there is an official confirmation from the publishers, from the assistants, from anybody actually involved with Berserk. For over a year now, people have been making assumptions about Berserk either being completely, it's done forever, or it will continue, won't continue, been up in the air. Duranki was canceled. There was all of these rumors, all these conflicting things. Many people saying that just forget it, it's done, it's never coming back. And I always said, look, even I said that I don't believe that it will continue. However, I will never make a definitive statement until there is an official source confirmation that comes out, and that has always been my opinion. That was my opinion with Hunter x Hunter. That was my opinion with Berserk. It's still my opinion with Vagabond. Until there is something official, don't make definitive statements. That is what I've always said. I was about to go to bed and I saw this tweet from the official Berserk Twitter source, and it's true. If this is the only information you want of this video, you don't want me to go into it further, it is official. Berserk will continue. The tweet right here, as it's translated, obviously there usually is some translation errors along the way, but the tweet that was posted says that Berserk will resume serialization from Young Animal our number 13 release on June 24th. June 24th. That is literally 2.5 weeks away. That's not even saying, yeah, we're getting together. We're going to do it, by 2023. It's coming out. Oh, you'll get a chapter by November. We're getting a chapter this month. This month, we're getting a chapter. I'm sorry. I'm a little excited. We will post a message from Young Animal editorial department and Professor Koji Mori when the serialization returns. Thank you for your continued patronage of Berserk. That is 100% official, confirmed from the Berserk Twitter page, but there's a lot more to it than that. So here's the translation of what Koji Maro has to say. Now, I don't know a lot about Koji Maro himself. He was, I believe, the mangaka of Holy Land, and he was very close with Miura. When Miura passed away, he did put out a very nice tribute to him. A lot of manga creators did, but specifically Koji Maro did put out a really, really nice and considerate kind of memorial when he came out. So these guys were really close, and this information, these bits of paragraphs that he wrote is very informative to how close the relationship actually was. And it seems like this guy, Koji Moro, is going to be basically like the guy leading the charge here. He's going to be in charge of the army, in charge of the entire Studio Gaga, in service of finishing Kentaro Miura's work. Now, I will talk about whether or not I will talk about both sides of opinions when it comes to continuing Berserk as a series. I know there are a lot of people out there that want this. I know that there are a lot of people out there that this will probably rub them the wrong way, which I understand to a degree, and we'll talk about that. But first, let's talk about what he actually wrote and what is going on here. So it says, we are going to continue the serialization of Berserk. Please accept our apologies for the long wait before we could make this announcement. And that's what I was saying before. Berserk was not officially canceled, so it was up in the ether of what would happen to it or not. This is the moment we have been waiting for. Now they say, we have read many of your comments as possible from the Berserk exhibition that went on, as well as in the memorial issue and volume 41. We're extremely grateful for each and every one of your words and your messages that you sent to us through social media. We are truly touched by all the love that you have for Berserk and the influence that it has had on your lives. Absolutely. It is truly sad that Kentaro Miura himself is not here to read your comments with us. Absolutely, man. Bonfire dreams, bro. Each of our tributes was one little fire inside of Miura's great flame. That's cheesy as hell, but absolutely true. Before his passing, Kentaro Miura spoke to his close friend Koji Mori about the stories and episodes that he had in mind for Berserk. He also had similar talks with his studio staff and editor. He wondered, would everyone be surprised if I drew something like this? How about a character like this? Would this storyline be interesting? The talks were not meant as his last words, but were part of his ordinary days as a manga artist. What I really like about that is that we seem to have, obviously we hold Miura on a very, very high pedestal, as he's proven to be worthy of. But at the same time, I really like this comment because it shows that, like, he's just a creator like anyone else that is wondering how people are going to respond to his work. You know, obviously he has a story to tell. He has ideas he wants to convey. But I like that he's saying, like, I wonder how people would think if I drew this. And he's actually, like, talking to people about it, feeling like, you know, he might have his own, like, insecurities about his own story. And I'm sure he does, because a lot of it is kind of displaying his heart and soul, you know, in front of everybody. Yes, it's through the veil of this dark fantasy story, but a lot of these ideas are probably things that he thought about day to day. So I don't know, it's very humanizing. I just like that a lot. So I'll continue. It says, such ordinary days continued for more than a quarter of a century. Our minds and hearts are still filled with the thoughts that Miura shared with us during that time. We have also found memos of ideas that he wrote and designs for characters that he drew and left behind. So, you know, planning forward, planning for future chapters and everything. We were reluctant to end a story without sharing these with his fans. Our hope is for everybody to read the last episode that we put together until the very last frame. So to me, that seems like saying until the very last frame. It means like they're taking this to the end. Like, we're going towards a conclusion. We're getting a conclusion of Berserk. Goes on to say, upon resuming the series, our production team decided on a basic policy. Mr. Miura said so. That's the most important key thing. That's what I've always said from the very beginning. You can go back and watch any of my videos. What matters... I'm sorry, Dracula. Dracula's meowing at me because it's bedtime. What matters more than anything is what Miura wanted. It says, Mr. Miura said so. It would lead me to believe that these are the things that he said that he wanted to have happen. This is what the production team kept in mind. Since he did not leave behind rough drafts, it is impossible for us to create a manuscript exactly in the way that he would have intended. That's going to rub people the wrong way for sure. However, we will write the manga so as not to deviate from Mr. Miura's own words, as in what he's talked about with them, with what he wants to do. We would like to take the Kentaro Miura that we knew so fondly through our conversations and work and convey this all to you in a sincere manner. We believe that this policy, although imperfect, is the best way to deliver Berserk that Mr. Miura envisioned to everyone as faithfully as possible. Now, I find that to be very honorable and respectful. They're basically saying, look, there's no manuscripts leading all the way up to the end, but we've had specific, intimate conversations with Miura about continuing Berserk and its inevitable conclusion, and we want to convey it as sincerely as possible. That doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect, because it won't be from Kentaro's hands himself, but it looks like they're trying to go about it in the most respectful way possible, which I genuinely appreciate. From the next issue, we will publish 6 chapters until the end of the Fantasia Elf Island chapter. Crazy that there's only going to be 6 chapters left in the Fantasia arc. Well, at least in the Elf Island chapters of it. We might go on to Fantasia arc, you know, like a part 2. After this, we will start a new arc, like they said. So that's either going to be Fantasia part 2 or something brand new. Credits after resumption will be original work by Kentaro Miura, manga by Studio Gaga, supervised by Koji Mori, and the numbering of the manga books will continue in order. So this means that they are continuing it as Berserk proper. So that means the continuing chapters are going to be into volume 42, volume 43, volume 44, and it's going to go like that. There was talk of, and I even thought of bringing it up, that if they continued it, they could do it under a different title, like Berserk the Finale or Berserk the Final Act or something, just as a means to separate it from the Miura legacy, you know? That way, you could choose to end the manga if you wanted to, but if not, but whatever. Anyways, I've talked about that before. But this is saying that it's going to continue as Berserk proper. So it's not going to have a subtitle. It's not going to be something different. It's literally going to be Berserk continued. So there you go. Looking back, the first volume of Berserk, published in 1990, with 28,000 copies sold, the release for the first edition, it was not an immediate hit, and only a small group of people knew about it. Still, drew avid fans to hold their interest because people could feel Mr. Miura's desire to refine his craft. After a while, Berserk became a huge hit through Mr. Miura's extraordinary efforts with some good luck. Today, the first volume has been read by 2 million people around the world. We believe that Berserk has touched the hearts of many fans, and Mr. Miura would be happy to know that his thoughts have had a great influence on people's work. We hope that everyone will continue to have the same connection with Berserk in the chapters to come. First of all, I can't really think anything more motivational than that. You know, the first one having 28,000 copies sold, and then by now changing that to 2 million. It's just incredible. You know, Berserk is a lot about progress, you know, of the character of Guts to begin with and what he goes through, but it was a lot about the progress of Miura's artwork and storytelling as well. And I think that you could take a lot out of that, thinking that, you know, when you start something, you know, every master, there's a line from a We Came as Romans song that says every masterpiece starts as a single stroke. And it's true. You know, you're not going to, like, you have to start. You have to work. You have to start creating. Like, the beginning of what you make isn't necessarily going to pay off, but if you never start, then there never will be a payoff. And I think that Berserk is a testament to that. They end this one saying, "Thank you for all the fans that sent us messages. We are grateful to the many fans who go quietly, supported the manga over with their thoughts. Every one of you will be the source of energy as we move forward. We are truly grateful to you all." So that's from the Young Animal editorial department. Now, there's also a message from Koji Mori himself, the man that's basically going to be taking the helm of Berserk here. So Koji Mori says, "Nearly 30 years ago, Miura called me and said, 'I need to talk to you about a drawing in a rough draft.' I went to his workplace just to talk as we always do, but Miura looked more serious than usual. 'I need to draw the eclipse.'" Sorry, that took me by surprise. Could you imagine calling your friend over and he's like, "Yeah, bro, what do you need help drawing?" And you're just like, "Well, here's my idea for the eclipse." If you're still friends with somebody after that, that's true friendship. I sensed it would be hard work, but couldn't believe what I was trapped indoors for a week. In that very... This is hilarious. In that very moment, the storyline for Berserk was completed until the very last chapter. Strangely, the story for Berserk went on exactly as we discussed at that time, with almost no changes. I continued to talk to Miura often. Whenever there was a big episode, we did ever since we were students, consulting each other while working on manga. That's a great fact, man. It's a great fact to realize that Miura has this whole idea of the story within his mind and has planned that far ahead in it. You know, a lot of people say that, you know, he didn't know where he was going when Berserk started, and yeah, that may be true, but by the time he got to Golden Age, by the time he was actually making the Eclipse, he knew the story that he wanted to tell. It's just a matter of the creation of it, and especially with his artwork, it takes a long time. Let's see. I think people with good intuition would realize by now I know the story of Berserk up to the very end. This is from Mori. Still, I cannot say that I can draw it because I know it. That is because only the genius Kentaro Miura can write a masterpiece like Berserk. However, the great responsibility has fallen on me. While he was alive, Miura said, "I haven't told anyone other than you." That's fucking ominous, bro. About the story in its entirety. And that was the truth. It is too big a responsibility. Koji Mori, please stay healthy, my man. You are literally the last hope at this moment. I thought I should talk to the fans about it through an interview, or should I publish an article with some illustrations, but that would convey the scene that Miura described to me, or the lines of Guts and Griffith. So he knows exactly what's going to happen next, but he didn't want to put anything out as a test because it would literally be spoilers. So just when I was trying to decide what to do, I received a message. The staff are saying they will finish the last chapter that was left behind, so can you take a look? So this was 364 when it came out. That's what they're referring to. The last few pages of the chapter were incomplete. Some didn't even have the characters drawn on them yet. I look at the manuscript without expecting much. Desperation can push people to create miracles, and there it was, the completed manuscript for Berserk. Mr. Mori, Will you let us do it? Wow. Miura's apprentices, who Miura had been so proud of while he was alive, asked me straight. The company director, Shimada, a mentor for me, and Miura also said, if you do it, the company will give you our full support. Wow. Just, dude, the amount of honor and respect that would be. It's like, will you let us do it? And like, if you do it, we will give you our full support. He could have said no. This all rested on Koji Mori. All of this rested on his shoulders. He's the only one that knows the ending of Berserk or where Miura was going, and he's the only one that they asked for permission to do it. That's crazy. I thought if I run away now, Miura would say, I talked to you about it so much, but you didn't do it. All right, I'll do it properly. And there you go. And that is what I've said from the very beginning. Only do what Kentaro Miura wanted to do. If this man knows Kentaro as well as he obviously does, been friends for 30 years, talked to him when he was making the Eclipse and didn't stop being friends with him, and says that he thinks Miura would say, I told you so much about this story and you didn't finish it, then that makes him want to finish it. That's it. That's closed book in my opinion. That's what you should do. Whatever Kentaro Miura would have wanted to have happen, that's what you should have happen. This dude, who's so close to him, has been through him through all of this. People are literally going to him to say that if you continue it, we have your support. He says that Miura would have said to do it. He ends this by saying, I have a message and promise to everyone. I will recall the details as much as possible and tell the story. Also, I will only write the episodes that Miura talked to me about. I will not flesh it out. I will not write episodes that I don't remember clearly. That's also very important. I will only write the lines and stories that Miura described to me. Of course, it will not be perfect. Still, I think I can almost tell the story that Miura wanted to tell. The talent Miura's apprentices have are real. So he's going to be helping to tell the story. Studio Gaga is going to be, the ones drawing it with the pen. He probably will help with that as well. They are brilliant artists. Many of you may not be fully satisfied with Berserk written without Miura, but we hope that everyone's thoughts will be with us. We ask for your continued support. So yeah, so let me end the video with this and basically saying, I think they're going into this very respectfully. I think they're honoring his legacy. I think they're doing it for Miura, and I think it's because of what Miura would have wanted. Now, there will be a portion of the Berserk fan base, inevitably, that will not accept this. Even with this heartfelt message, even with everything going on, they will see this as purely a corporation wanting to profit on Miura's legacy after he passed, and that anything that is not written by Kentaro Miura himself is not true Berserk. To that I say, I completely understand where you're coming from. And if you no longer want to read Berserk because it's not Kentaro Miura writing it, I have nothing against that. I have zero things against that. I completely understand and I respect your opinion. I have always been on the side of, it's not even sides, it's just a matter of preference. But I have always preferred that if an ending can be told, and if Miura wants that ending to be told, then please tell it. Guts has gone through so much pain, so much struggle, so much tribulation, so many years of battle and war and heartache and pain, and this entire journey that has brought him from his horrible childhood up until being on Elfhelm now face to face with Griffith once more. Guts deserves an ending to his journey. Miura deserves an ending to his story, and Guts deserves an ending to his. And I think with the respect of the team, with the respect of Koji Mori, my God, please stay healthy. And with the blessing of Miura himself, I'm perfectly fine with this. It's a lot to take in. Many people thought this day would never come, but we are here. I will link the Twitter post down below so that you guys can check it out for yourself. I'm sure that a lot of people are going to be talking about this, and a lot of people are going to have a lot of opinions. Basically just shared mine off the cuff, just immediately, just read this flat out, reacted to it. these are my first general thoughts. I'm ecstatic myself. I love Berserk more than any other fictional property ever. Not even just manga. I'm just talking anything. Nothing has inspired me more. Nothing has made me and more thought provoking for me. Nothing has made me quite as emotional as Berserk has. It came to me at a time in my life where it really helped me push forward. It helped me, gain some notoriety on YouTube. It helped me through my own personal life. It motivates me to try harder, to work harder, to overcome my own past issues, my own traumas. When I'm at the gym and I need to lift a really heavy weight, I think about Guts just going ham. I love it, man. So that's it, man. That's the news. It's official. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I guess I don't want this video to go any longer than it really needs to be, to let you guys know. But there's my first general thoughts. Tell me what you think down below. As always, guys, I appreciate you, my Berserk family. It is the best. It's not only the best story, but it is the best fandom I've ever been a part of. You guys are awesome. You're amazing. I love you guys. And it's been a dream to be a Berserk fan. It really has. I love you guys. Tell me what you think. And 2 weeks, bro.